Greetings, Inquisitor. I'm glad you found this holocron. Today we detail the further journey of Darth Loquitur as I build this account and try to do well in Grand Arena. If you haven't seen my prior videos, have a look back and you can see week by week each thing that I'm doing to advance the account, all the progress, and how I'm spending my materials and building mods and trying to make this account do well. Let's jump right into it. Last week, right before the lock-in on Grand Arena, I did have enough currency and enough gear to get this Geonosian Spy up another gear tier, and I do want this Hive Tactics ability here that allows me to pull other characters out of stealth. Whenever they're exposed, they lose stealth, and that's something that will help me in the future when I play this team offensively or in PvE events. We're also going to take this Geo Soldier up to level 85. Sunfac as well. Just kind of touch up this Geo team. And again, this is not only going to help the Geo team itself, it's also going to help the ships. So we had a nice mod here. You get some good upgrades on it, get some good speed for Anakin. Now, we had this team timed, but I'm trying to build Anakin now to go first so that he can go ahead of the rest of the team. And then once he gets the buffs from Grandmaster Yoda, he'll be on his next turns. So something to make them hopefully a little more dangerous when I put them on defense. All right. So that uses up all of our money, and then we join the Grand Arena round. And of course, we've made videos, and you've seen that Grand Arena round played since then. All right. Then for this week's advancements, we do have that Snow Trooper you can see there that we've built up all the gear that we need for our first Relic character. And, you know, that means we're going to have our first Relic character on this account before we hit 700,000 galactic power. I've had several people ask, you know, what's the right time to start relicking characters? Well, if you have a Gear 12 character, it's the right time to start relicking that character. I mean, Relic's just the next level. So you're going to see it here. There's nothing scary about it. We're going through the initial quests. This is our first relic, so he's telling us where to find the Jawa Scavenger. So we're going to go over here and visit the Jawa Scavenger. It's got some text that we have to go through. We have to do a kind of a preloaded quest here. He's going to show us how to scrap some gear. And this is pretty straightforward. You know, it shows you all of the extra gear that you have in inventory. And I know some people, when they get in here at first, they're afraid that they're going to trash the wrong gear and they're not exactly sure what all this gear is used for. And the truth is, at some point, you will probably convert gear that you didn't want to convert and regret it. But when you have 838 of something, you don't really care. It's really hard to make a mistake on something where you have, 900 of it. And I'm only selling it down to, like 400. So even if I sell the wrong gear, I still have 400 of them. It's not like I'm going to run out anytime soon. We look up here at the high end. These are worth 6 each. We've got 600. I'm going to run these down to about 400 each and just sell all this stuff off and build all kinds of carbonite circuit boards to help me relic up my character. So I think we need about 250. With this, we'll have over 300, but that's okay. We have a little bit of bronzium wiring in here. Now we're going to go in and make a whole bunch more. And again, we've got a lot of this gear. Here we've got 211. You can see I run it down a little too much. Put some back. Keep it up over 100. Never know when you might need that stuff. That's fine. But that's how we're going to get this gear going. Put a bunch of these Mark V pads over there. And that'll get us up to 230 bronzium wiring. Chromium transistor, if people have watched my video on gearing up characters, you will see the Ugnaught character in my video. So I am going to do exactly that to get my chromium transistors. Remember, this is my first relic, so I don't have any of this stuff set up yet. But I knew it was coming, so I went ahead and got enough shards of Ugnaught that I would be able to unlock him. So here we go. Here's our Ugnaught. Now we take this Ugnaught and we put him at level 41 so that he won't go past gear 5. That's where we want to get him to. So now we level him up 3, 4, check that everything's where it should be. Now get him up to gear tier 5. And this little piece of gear right here, Boss 7 armor, this is one of the highest conversion rate pieces that you can do to get chromium transistors into your account. There's also another piece on the upper right side, some kind of Blast Tech weapon mod or something like that, that's also at the same level, also on Ugnaught at the same gear tier, and you can also use that for chromium transistors for the purpose of what I needed to do here. We just put 40 of those over there, make 266 chromium transistors, and we're in good shape. Now for the Erodium heat sinks, you can pretty much ignore everything in here except the Mark III hollow projectors. Those are they're not only the best value, but they're so much by far the best value that you don't even want to consider anything else in this shop for grinding up. Now I think I need 20, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to go ahead and start the process of relicking this guy up. And if I want to get him to Relic 5, then I'll be able to see how many of those I'm going to need. So there's Relic 1. There's Relic 2. And you can see each time we relic him up a level, the amount of materials and the quality of the materials that we need continues to go up. So we're burning through a whole bunch of those, bronzium wiring and the signal data over there. And now you see we need all 3 kinds of signal data for Relic 5. And indeed, we do need 20 of the heat sinks. So we're going to put 2 of those in and get 20. Never put the Mark III projector parts in there. You always want to have a fully crafted piece. The parts give far less benefit. The crafted piece gives 10 per crafted piece. So you can see we've still got some of those materials left over, but we burned through most of what we made. So if you try to relic a character every week, you just won't have enough stuff over there to grind up to make your relic materials. And if you're playing free to play, that becomes a limitation as well. And you can get maybe 2 characters relicked 1 month, 1 character relicked the next month. That's kind of the pace at which you can keep up with all of those materials through your farming. So we leveled up Vader to gear 12. That took away the piece that we needed for Jedi Knight Anakin, so we don't get to level him up. Yoda's looking good, but he's going to gear 12 as his next upgrade, and you can't do that without 7 stars. So he's stuck, and he can't do anything till I get him up to 7 stars. So we'll have to look for some other characters to level up. Piet is tempting, but we are trying to get the Bounty Hunter team going a little more right now. So we're going to go ahead and invest in Jango Fett. Then we've got some other guys down here. And you can see I go from the top down. So I take some of the characters that are at the higher gear. I level up the ones that I want up there first, because the guys down here at this level aren't using that same kind of gear. So as you progress downward, you take, progressively, let's say, less rare gear. So now Bosk is stuck on needing a stun gun. He needs a Carbanti. And that's the theme right now. Most characters are stuck on Carbantis. So for next week, I'll continue to farm Carbantis just like I did the prior week. We've got Plo here, and we need we need to get our ships up, and we need to get the tier 4 of the material challenge But to do that, we need six 6-star ships. And it actually looks right now like Plo's ship is going to get to 6 stars before any of my other ships. So he will probably be my 6th 6-star ship. I'll have to develop him, so I want Plo to be at least good enough that that ship is going to be decent once I get it going. All right. Bastila is ready to promote to 6 stars, so we can do that. We also have some other promotions down here. Obi-Wan, Old Ben is ready to go as well. We can promote him. And I'm starting to run out of money pretty quick. So Plo can go all the way to 7 stars, but I'm down to 2 million now, so I look at this and I rethink it and I say, okay, fine. When I'm ready to get my 7-star Grandmaster Yoda, then I'll sink that million credits into him. But for right now, we're just going to hold on to our money. The shards will be there when we're ready. All right. So then on Bastila, I noticed recently that I had not leveled up her skills. And especially on the leadership, we really need to get to level 7 on that leadership, especially if we're going to put these Jedi on defense every now and then. So we go ahead and close that out. Now, with Bosk, I'm really thinking, I've got one more Zeta this week, and I'm thinking that Bosk is my best long-term investment. I could put a second Zeta on Vader, and maybe that would be more flashy, tomorrow. But I want this bounty hunter team to be effective, and I am building Bosk and getting, shards for him and investing in his gear. So as we bring him up, we want this Zeta on Bosk. That's kind of an investment in the future. That'll also help us whenever we get enough bounty hunters to go in and go for the Chewbacca in the events or the journey guide. So again, with Bosk, we're spending some more Omegas here. It's a lot of Omegas that we're spending on him, but we're kind of getting his stuff up to the level that it needs to be. All right. So now we've got a couple million credits in the bank to work on mods. And I've got some mods that are gold that already have speed on them, and those are fun because, you get to see right away how good the mod is without any slicing. So we get a hit on speed. It's 2 3-speed hits, so it's not that great, but speed is speed. And then we end up getting only 2, and it's got a tenacity main stat. Maybe we would keep it otherwise, but with a tenacity main stat, it's gone. So this has speed on it. We're going to hit that, and we get 1 speed upgrade out of the first 2. Hit it again. It's only 3 speed, but now we've got 12 speed on the mod, which is good. Then we hit potency again. So 2 upgrades in potency and 2 in speed. That's a pretty good mod, so we lock that in. Next one has 5 speed starting out, which is, even more promising. And then we miss it on the first 2 upgrades. We do another upgrade, miss it again, and at that point we just sell the mod. And again, we'll fast forward. I spend a total of about, we got a 14 speed mod there, but it was actually an arrow. It was an accuracy arrow that I was just trying to see if I could hit the speed, and I did. So it's a accuracy arrow if I ever want it. Then I spent, I think, about an hour in total messing around with mods, maybe not even that long this week. So here we're just going after mods and cycling through them. I did it a little bit differently this time, just trying something a little bit different. I went through each grade, all the gold ones, all the purple ones, then all the blue ones, just to kind of see how that worked for me. And the reason I wanted to do that is just to see if it made it more clear, like when I should slice mods. So once I get to the low-level mods, should I slice them? There's that accuracy mod that I was talking about. I got 12 speed on that accuracy arrow. All right. So then we just go back to shuffling mods again. And we end up eventually getting around to some crosses that we're working on. And the crosses end up going pretty well. I get a couple in there that look pretty promising. In here, we get a couple speed upgrades. We get another good tenacity mod out of there. So here we get a 9-speed defense mod, which isn't the greatest, but, you know, I'm hitting speed substats on a lot of these, right? So here I hit 14 speed on this mod with potency and lock it in. And then we come in, work on the next couple mods, trying to get that speed. Doesn't work. Trying to get that speed. We hit it, got it 8. Not that great, but worth keeping for now. Keep missing the speed on this one. And then we just go back to this one and we say, okay, 14 speed. Maybe that could be better. 2 hits already in speed. Let's level it up and let's go ahead and slice this mod. See what we get. So slice number 1. Ready, set, speed. Nope. Ready, set, speed. Nope. And that's the way it goes. You gotta slice a lot of those mods. You gotta find the ones that are gonna end up working. But still, we're not mad about a 14 speed mod. That's a good addition to our collection this week. We actually got, I think, a total of 3 or 4 mods with 10 or more, or let's say more than 10 speed on the substats. So lots of interesting stuff going on with mods. And I am splitting my currency right now, or my energy. So right now when I'm farming, I do, 4 days at least of collecting mods, and then I probably do, the other 3 days collecting slicing materials. And that way I can do a little bit of slicing and also a little bit of, getting new mods. All right, here we got 11 speed. I choose to slice it again, and we hit a 16 speed mod. And for 3 upgrades to hit 16 speed is pretty good. We invest in that last upgrade and miss it. But again, 16 speed mod, not horrible. And, someday when we have some materials to slice 6-dot mods, that mod might be one that we would go after and try to get some more speed substats on it. All right, so, we just keep buzzing through these mods. Exciting times. So if you guys don't have a mod strategy, if you aren't, working on mods, you got to set some goals. A good goal is to try to get at least 2 mods a week that have 10 or more speed, and then, 2 or 3 more mods that have at least 2 speed upgrades, whether it's 6 or 8 or 9 or whatever you get. But you want to get a few of those every week, and you really want to try to get at least 1 or 2 mods with double-digit speed in the substats. And that'll help your account keep growing, and when you're up against your opponents, believe me, if your characters are all 5 speed faster than his characters, the likelihood that you're going to win that matchup increases significantly. There we got a 10 speed mod out of a green mod. I didn't have enough slicing materials to keep slicing it, but that's, a green mod with 10 speed is definitely a mod that you're going to slice in the future. Okay, so with that in mind, with our new setup here with our Stormtrooper at Relic level, let's just go through and show a little bit of gameplay. Here we go, buff everybody up. Put the mark on him, do the big area effect, take out Bastila with the mass assist, and then just keep working on this team and finish them off. So the troopers are doing well with the addition of that Relic Snow Trooper. It certainly takes it to a whole new level. Show a couple more battles here. Here we're trying to climb to top 100. So I did record a few of those battles. I'm just going to show them to you, and you can see the difference between having a Gear 12 character and having a Relic character is pretty big. The amount of damage that he can do every time he does that area effect, and with his basic, when he assists on that mass assist, it makes a huge difference. And these teams that before we might not have had enough firepower to punch through, now we can take them down with that Relic level Snow Trooper. Just to show you guys how I'm doing with fleets, I'm typically doing this starting lineup with Sunfac in as one of the reinforcements. And the reason I do that is because he can stun when he comes in. Spy can go under stealth while he's out here. And hopefully pretty soon I'll get his skill up so that he can put the soldier also under stealth. Here I use Ahsoka as the reinforcement because I wanted her out on the board. But unfortunately, she can't, her turn wasn't near the reinforcement of that Slave 1, so I couldn't peel the buffs off of him. Here's another battle for the squad arena, Night Sisters, and I think we all know that the troopers are a pretty good counter against the Night Sisters, but you're going to see this is going to look pretty smooth. Mow them all down. Got a mass assist on the zombie because we have to target her. And that gets us what we need to keep our turn meter going. More kills, more turn meter. Lots of kills. Finished them all off in one hit. Looking good with this Snow Trooper. And especially if you want to play in Grand Arena, you really have to exercise your teams in Squad Arena and try to play even against things where you think you might lose, because you have to have a feeling for how that team works, what it counters, and that way, you know, many of the different teams that you might face in Grand Arena, you're going to feel comfortable. You've already fought them in Arena. You know how to beat them. Okay, on this team, you really have to be careful not to hit the Ghost, because you don't want the Phantom 2 to get the taunt and foresight that comes off of the interaction between the Ghost and the Phantom. So in this case, we're going to stun the Ghost and kill the Phantom. Now he brings in the Slave 1. A lot of people at this level have Slave 1 as a reinforcement, so you just have to expect that, and you can see how well it works with Home 1. Every time it attacks, it gets free protection up, so it's pretty hard to kill. But with our gimmick, we just, bring in that Sunfac, then we have 3 Geos, and we just focus them down. All right, next set of battles. Now this is the fight for the top 100 on that particular day. We're checking speeds on everything because we want to make sure that we're actually going to go first, because you got Vader in this team with a bunch of other stuff, and he's getting speed bonuses, and if he gets to go first, then we're probably not going to win. So just checking things out. We're looking good. So here we go. Buff up our guys. Big hit. Put it over on Vader. We'll be able to kill some guys just with the area effect. Smooth. So that Empire team is also a team that's trying to go fast and go first, and if that team would go first, it would crush us. No problem. But as long as we go first, opposite is true, and we can expect to crush them. Another fleet battle here real quick. This is another Home 1 fleet. Gear 12 on the Vader. The Biggs isn't that big, so we're not too worried about him. Same setup. And at this level, I do like Anakin as a reinforcement because he can come in and do his, give everybody the exposes and then do an area effect and really do a lot of damage to the opposing team. Do the assist, that spy does pretty big damage. Then we'll get Anakin out of here. Now we're just working on Vader. He does get our soldier, but that's the way it goes. Now we can bring this in, stun Vader, put it on, stun him too. So as a reinforcement, Sunfac is a pretty interesting character, I think. Vader's trying to make his last stand, but the spy's got his ability back up, and that's game. So those matches usually go pretty quick. The damage on my ship is getting up. My ships is getting up high enough that I don't have to worry too much about getting to the ultimate. So instead of having a presentation at the end of this like I usually do, there's really not that much stuff that's changed since last week. So we're still doing all the same things with farming and with characters and with hard nodes, and we're really not changing that. The only change is that I think I'll have old Ben to the point where he can get his 7 stars, and then I'm going to switch over to farming Moff Gideon out of the Cantina as soon as I can, because the new Conquest game mode has proven out how valuable that Moff Gideon is going to be. So I'm going to start definitely collecting shards for him and building him on this account. So what I want to talk about instead of that, the future, what I'm going to do with this account, I want to talk about the concept of going straight for a galactic legend very early in the game. And this was brought up by a popular streamer that you guys probably all know. And it started some controversy because the plan is, develop the Phoenix and get Thrawn and then just go straight for a galactic legend. And some people think that's a pretty poor idea. And, I've spoken out about that and said, no, that's not a good plan. You shouldn't do that. And the whole concept revolves around, well, you're going to be bad in Grand Arena because while you're building a Galactic Legend character, a lot of those characters in the middle are really not that good. And even when you get them to Relic level, they're not that good. But there is a reason why I disagree with that. When you're at a very low level in the Grand Arena, just having a Relic character is often enough. So let's say you went for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and the first 2 characters that you chose to Relic were Kylo Ren, unmasked, and the old school Kylo Ren, and, built a Hux to go along with that. Well, you could take the Hux and put him as the leader on a team with that Kylo Ren, old school Kylo Ren, and whatever other First Order guys you put there, that's a team. That's an offensive or defensive team that can win just on the merit of one Relic character that's good enough to pretty much solo squads at any level. Your Kylo Ren unmasked, you put him with 4 other trash First Order, and he's still a defensive team that can get holds because his defensive skills, especially early game, if you put a Relic 7 KRU on defense in Division 11 Grand Arena, there are not many people that are going to beat that. So I don't think that you're just smoked in Grand Arena if you build a Galactic Legend. I think if you want to do well in Grand Arena all the way up to when you do get a Galactic Legend, you need to stabilize with a few other teams first. So I think it's more than just Phoenix into Galactic Legend. I think it's maybe, let's say, 4 teams to stabilize your roster and then into Galactic Legend. And I do think that that's the way to go. And that is confirmed now by the Conquest game mode. If you look at the way the Conquest game mode energy works and the stamina, if you just said, okay, I've only got 1 team. I've got 1 Galactic Legend team. It's the only good team I have. Everything else is trash. You could come in there on day 1. You get 2% per hour. There's 24 hours in a day, so that roughly means 50% stamina per day. So you can do 5 battles per day with your 1 best team and let them recover their stamina, and there's plenty of energy to play out those 5 battles. 2 in the morning, 1 at lunch, 2 before you go to bed, you're good to go, and the stamina regenerates in between. Now, okay, if you can only do 5 battles a day, where does that put you? Well, there's 14 combat missions per sector. There's 5 sectors. So if you can do 5 a day, each sector is going to take you 3 days, and 5 total sectors would take you 15 days. there's only 14 days in the event, so you need to at least be able to pass up a few of those early nodes with a different team, or you're going to have to spend, 50% worth of stamina regeneration for your main team, um, as as the event comes to an end to finish it out. But you could literally do that event with one team, as long as that team is a team that's good enough to go all the way to the end. And I speculate, I don't know 100% for certain because I haven't played that level myself yet, but other streamers have played it, and it does look like if you think that one team is going to be able to make it all the way to the end, it's really going to have to be a Galactic Legend team. And I'm going to view, for my Loquitur account, I'm going to view this Conquest game mode much in the same way that I view it as the Zeta Material Challenge. I think it's one of those cumulative investment things that if you don't take advantage of that as soon as you can, let's say you wait a year before you get full participation in that, where, maybe you could have had full participation in 5 months. Those 7 months worth of good participation that you miss out on represent a lot of Zeta materials, which we've already said is one of the most critical things in the game. It represents a lot of gear, a lot of those little computer chips as potential to buy more gear that you need for Relic characters. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The better you can do in Conquest, the more characters you can Relic. The more characters you have Relic, the better you can do in Conquest, and the cycle continues. So from an early look, I'm looking at this exactly like the Zeta Material Challenge is in Fleet. It's something that you have to get yourself ready to do well in as soon as possible. And right now, the way the game plays, that means a Galactic Legend. So I'm a Loquitur account. I'm working on Geos. I'm working on Troopers. I've got a Bounty Hunter team that's up and running. I've got Jedi that I'm probably going to convert into a Padme team. But much beyond that, I really can't keep going. I'm going to have to, if I'm going to go for the Sith Eternal Emperor, then I'm probably just going to need to go straight for that and try to develop that as soon as I can to make sure that I can take best advantage of this Conquest game mode. So with that in mind, I do think that that's the right path to take, a few teams. And maybe for some people, you say, well, I want 8 teams. I want to get C-3PO, and that means Ewoks, and, I want to do Revans or something like that. Everybody has to plan out and do what they want to do in their own account. But again, if Sector 4 and 5 are really going to take Galactic Legend level teams, or let's say you could do it with a Jedi Knight Revan team, as long as you have 6 dot mods on every character and all this stuff maxed out. Well, that's not something that's going to be easily achievable for people who are still, down at 2 million galactic power. So it does support the idea of a very early Galactic Legend being a wise move to accelerate the growth of your account. And having a Galactic Legend in Grand Arena is the ticket, You just have to manage it so that you don't get your galactic power all blown up by building a bunch of ships that you don't need and stuff like that. So let me explain now, while we're talking about this, what we've been watching in the background. So this is my Geo team. So this is 2 Gear 11 characters, 2 Gear 10 characters, and a Gear 9 Sunfac, I believe. And you can see I'm on the second phase Geo TB battles, and I've already completed 3 waves of missions with these Geos at this level. And I'm going to fail to complete the 4th, but you can see what I'm doing. I've explained this before, that we're trying to keep ability blocks, especially on any character that has area effect. So we're just going around the team here, and we're placing ability blocks on as many of these characters as we can. That's much more important with the Geos than trying to just burn a character down. So we want to get this Clone Sergeant out of here as soon as we can, because if he gets away from us and we can't get ability block on him, his area effect can literally kill my whole team in one shot. So we do not want to let him get off the leash. And in the same way, we've got to keep the medic ability blocked so he doesn't go crazy. This guy with taunt is no problem. We'll just attack him once and get rid of the taunt. And now we really got to get back to this Clone Sergeant. We're waiting to do the heal until, perhaps we're down into the health so we can maximize the amount of benefit that we get from that heal. So now we got the Clone Sergeant out of there, and we're working on these guys. And then Mace just goes crazy because he triggered the Shatter Point. And, maybe I should have done the heal earlier and cleansed off that Shatter Point. That's probably a mistake on my part. And now the battle's lost. So wasn't paying enough attention to what debuffs I had on. Thought I could wait another round with that healing. But I really should have used it for the cleanse effect. And made sure that Mace didn't have the opportunity to go bonkers on me like that. So, but still, 3 rounds and potentially, if I'd have played that correctly, potentially getting 4 waves cleared in the GOTB second level with characters like this is, I think, not too bad, and it shows the viability of an early Geo team, that it is worth building, and it can get your guild quite a lot of points in this event. So that's the video for the day. I thank you all for joining me. Appreciate your continued support. Like this video, that helps my channel a lot. Comment down below what you think about this debate with the Galactic Legends. Let me know. Do you think we should go for a Galactic Legend that early, or do you think people should continue stabilizing their account and wait until they're ready for a Galactic Legend, whatever that means to be ready? I'd love to hear from the community. Let me know what you think, guys. Comment down below. For anybody who hasn't joined our Discord yet, it's a good community of players over there trying to help each other out. Good conversations. Some quick advice from a lot of experienced players if you're a newer player and just need a hint or just want to get pointed in the right direction. We got plenty of people over there give you good advice, and they're happy to do it. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Appreciate your time. See you in the next video.